Getting cinematic shots isn't as hard as you think. In fact, most cinematographers fall back on these 7 shots. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the most used shots in cinema today. Number 1 is establishing shots. Establishing shots are used to show the location of where your scene is taking place. In some cases, a drone will be used to show the scale of a certain location, but in most cases, it'll take place on a camera using a wide-angle lens. Establishing shots are essential in film because they allow your audience to know where a scene is taking place without your main protagonist having to say it. You'll never hear the main character say, "By the way, we're in New York." What's most likely going to happen is the director or somebody else will grab a drone shot of the Statue of Liberty. So that way you, as the audience, knows whatever's happening or whatever's about to go down is taking place in New York. Establishing shots are usually transitional pieces, taking place either at the beginning of a scene or at the end of one. The next type of shot is known as a full shot. A full shot is still a type of establishing shot, but instead of establishing your location, you're establishing your character. The full shot allows the audience to see the character in their entirety. You get to see them from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet. This shot can be used to display your character's body language or how they interact with their current environment. Something I've noticed about full shots is that they aren't really used in horror films. The reason for that is, in horror films, you want to hide the quote-unquote monster away from your audience. There's a bit of terror in the unknown, so not allowing your audience to see what the monster looks like can add a significant amount of tension and anticipation in your film. Our next shot is a medium shot. A medium shot is typically from the waist up. Now this is about as far out as most directors will go when there's dialogue taking place. Now of course you can go wide and still have discourse, but a general rule of thumb is if there's dialogue in your scene, you want to go with a medium shot or something closer. Also, it should be noted that a medium shot is probably the closest shot where you can comfortably fit 2 people in the same frame. Following the medium shot, we have the medium close shot. These shots are usually from the chest up, and just like the medium shot, these shots are great for dialogue. But it doesn't have to be just for dialogue. A medium close shot is a great tool to highlight characters' facial expressions. Coming up is one of my favorite shots, and that's the over-the-shoulder shot, better known as the OTS shot. The OTS shot is notoriously used for dialogue scenes, but it can also be used when there's just one character in the scene. For instance, this shot is used a lot in bathrooms. You can use this shot while your character is looking at themselves in the mirror, which is a great way to convey a sense of self-reflection. Next we have close-ups, and close-ups are typically from the neck up. And what I've noticed with a lot of close-ups is that there is very rarely any dialogue taking place. These shots are mainly used to convey emotion. Close-up shots are the perfect tool to zero in on a character. It leaves your audience with no choice but to feel how they feel, provided the story you're telling is actually good and somewhat relatable. But close-up shots don't always have to be of a person's face. You can use a close-up shot on a person's hand to show what they're holding. Or maybe you want to highlight a certain action that they're performing. Last on our list is extreme close-ups, better known as macro shots. To capture a macro shot, you need what's called a macro lens. A macro lens is a lens that specifically allows you to focus extremely close to a subject. So that means you can fill your whole frame with really small details. One of the most popular use cases for a macro lens is to capture the eye, and there's good reason for that. I'm sure you've heard the saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. Turns out it might be some validity to that. Fair warning though, a macro shot can easily be overused, so you want to make sure you use it sparingly. But when the time does come for you to use your macro lens, it can be an extremely powerful storytelling tool. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. We're trying to hit 1K by the end of the year. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.